joined by UFC 298 victorious Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Fluffy, what is going on, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing? I just finished S&C and now I'm ready to go to wrestling and some fit-ins and back to work.
Straight back into it, eh? No rest for the wicked.
No, it's easier for me just to stay in the groove because once I start off, it's like hard to get back on track. You know what I mean? So it's just better for me to stay in it until I retire. I feel like.
So you've been chipping away, and well done, by the way, on the work ethic. That's unbelievable. A lot of people take some time off in between fights and go and get fat. You're not tempted to do that?
No, I'll get fat easily. I just change my diet. You know what I mean? That's why I got the Fluffy name. The weight comes easy, so I got to keep working it.
Yeah, because you started off at heavyweight, right?
Yeah, no, when I was like 15, 16, I was fighting like local pros and shit at smoker events and stuff, fighting heavyweight, fighting just grown-ass men my entire life. So, like, I don't give a f*** who I fight, you know what I mean? It's helped a lot. It's just like, since I was a kid, I've been taking on grown men, and it is what it is. It's just a fight, you know what I mean? Worst case, I have to start all over.
Anthony, listen, I'm not just saying this because you're on it. I've got so much respect for you. I mean, the way that you fight, I'm going to choose my words carefully, but you kind of remind me of myself in a way because I was never the strongest, never the quickest, never the, never the best athlete. And don't take that as a sign of disrespect because it's not what I mean. But, yeah. but you find a way to win, man. You know, I mean, I'll never forget when you choked out Rodolfo Vieira. You didn't even know who that guy was, right, when you fought him. Yeah. And time after time, this is what you're doing. What do you want now? Is it a 5-fight win streak? Five
now, yeah. Yep, 5 streak right now.
Yeah.
So far, it's going great. But, dude, I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from a champ, you know what I mean? The goal is to be in the seat where you're at and have a great retirement and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll rest when it's over. But for now, it looks like 40 is like where kind of people are starting to teeter off, you know what I mean? So if I can take care of my body and be smart, I want to get the title, make a bunch of freaking money, and like that's my goal at the end of the day, and just live in the cuts and be left alone. That's
how old are you now, Fluffy? I'm just looking at the fight card. I should have done this before, but you jumped on a few minutes early. I mean, you are prompt, you're dedicated, and you're even showing up to the podcast early. How old are you, Fluffy?
I'm 30.
Oh, dude, you got loads of time.
Yeah. No, I thought when I was like 25, I was like, I'm going to come in here, clean up shop. Got humbled a couple of times, you know what I mean? And then now it's just approach it the right way and don't fight hurt. I learned you're not like doing anyone a favor if you fight hurt, you know what I mean? Like there was a time when I needed money to get out of a trailer. I was living in like a 26-foot trailer. I was hurt still, and I was like, well, it's the best I can do right now. And I just sent it. And I'm not taking anything away from anyone. I got my ass whooped when I got my ass whooped. But being healthy, I mean, I've shown what I can do when I'm healthy and I'm fully dialed in. It took me a while to like get over my dad's death and my grandmother's death. They were like super close to me, you know what I mean? But as a man now, I feel like I'm ready. I'm taking care of my shit. Everything's kind of falling into place. So I feel like I just needed that growing up to do, you know what I mean? Now I have my shit together and I'm ready to change these kids' life.
When did your father pass away?
Man, it's been like right for the Contender Series, honestly. He died right before that fight camp. And honestly, the Contender Series, I was like, it's probably one of my worst fight camps. But I got a 40-second knockout. I was drunk every day at practice, super high all the time. Just trying not to think about the shit, you know what I mean? I was like hella depressed. I lost my best friend, basically. But I'm good now. And now it's just like put in the work and like everything that my dad did with me and for me, it's just repay it. And this is the only way I can repay it is by winning, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to kill me to try to get me to lose in the cage, because this is like, I got a lot riding on it, you know what I mean?
Hey, listen, we have seen that people do have to kill you to finish you. My God, it's unbelievable. Sorry to harp on about your father. Do you mind if I ask how he passed away? Because obviously I'm 45 next week. I'm getting on and I've got parents and they're all, I worry about that all the time. How did your father pass?
Man, so he got like, he was a diesel mechanic and like just smelling all kinds of bad fumes up his lungs. And they went to do a biopsy. And when they went to cut a piece of lung, it broke off and like brittle. So like just a bunch of fluid and shit filled up. And then basically like all the fluid filled up and like stopped his lungs. And then he got put into a coma and then he wasn't waking up. A couple of my uncles and aunts were doctors. And I was like, all right, give it to me real. Like what's going on? and they said basically because he was unconscious for like 45 minutes, that like usually they're not gonna come back. And my dad told me like he almost died when I was a kid once, and he always told me if I'm gonna be vegetable, you pull the plug. You don't let me just die. And I'm like, respect. I'd want the same thing. I'd shoot myself if I was stuck in a bed. You know what I mean? So I did as he said, and the rest is history. But yeah, basically like fluid stopped his lungs basically from some lung disease. I don't even remember the word. It's some big ass doctor word.
Yeah.
And I'm not the smartest guy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, me and you both, buddy. Me and you both. Well, listen, I guarantee if he was here now, he will be so proud of you, man, because what you're doing is phenomenal. Saturday night was a big spotlight for you. I mean, opening up a massive pay-per-view like that. I mean, your profile must have grown recently. Have you kind of felt that?
It grew a little bit. I probably should do a lot more social media shit. Honestly, I don't even like doing interviews usually. I've been telling a lot of people like, hey, sorry, no, thank you. But obviously you're a legend. I'm going to talk to you. And then I just met, Ariel Hawani the other day for the first time. Didn't really know who he was. He's cool, seemed cool. But yeah, I'm not really into social media. If I could just chill, kick it, and just raise my kids, I'm happy. You know what I mean? The rest is just extra. I had my time to shine when I was younger and dumb, but I don't know. Now it's kind of like I'm trying to be somewhat of a good inspiration for my daughters. You know what I mean? I got little girls now. I'm like, I remember how I was, so I'm trying to be straight edge. You know what I mean?
Not too straight edge.
Yeah.
Hey, look, listen, never mind the social media bullshit, because it is just bullshit. It's just a distraction. It's not important at the end of the day. Sounds like you've got your priorities straight. All that matters is your family, your kids, providing for them like your father did for you. So, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Let me ask you, was Helwani asking questions, trying to get you to shit on the UFC?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was just kind of asking my story because he found it like intriguing that I didn't really know who he was. But the way I see it, like, I hardly watch fighting. The last thing I'm gonna do is go look up people's interviews. I really don't give a what no one's doing. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I care about is getting the belt and changing my kids' lives and my life. Besides that, it's like I really like I don't really care. You know what I mean? Just focus on what I'm focused on and being happy, and that's all I really need. You know what I mean?
Well, you should do interviews because you're very good at them. You're good to talk to. And you mentioned your story. Tell us a little bit about your story, Anthony. How did you end up fighting, and where did Fluffy? I know it's because you were heavier, but fat, because you were fat. Hey, bro, you should have seen me when I was younger. My God. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your background and what got you into fighting.
Man, when we first started fighting, it was like those cheap little Denios gloves, lace-ups that the cotton falls, you know, it moves around when you're hitting each other. And it was like we'd fight in front yards in high school and shit. We would just beat the fuck out of each other and like slam each other into cars. At my high school, they used to fight in the locker room. It was wild. I never fought at the high school because it was just boxing, but I did like MMA front yard fights with my friends. And then my cousin's like, dude, check out this gym. I went to the gym, started training, fell in love with the sport. And then like when I was like 15, I pretty much met Max Griffin, and he's been me up for a very long time when I was a kid. And basically like that's kind of how I just stayed in the gym since I was 15, tried to do it in college, didn't work out very well. My teacher was like, why don't you quit fighting so you can actually do your homework? And I'm like, first of all, I'm retarded when it comes to school. I'm gonna definitely just drop out. So I dropped out, took a fight with a 36-year-old cop, knocked him out in 30 seconds, and then made my MMA debut and just went with it. And I've been in the gym ever since, just chasing the same dream.
Hold on. Back up. You knocked a cop out. I'm assuming that was in like a proper tournament format. That wasn't on the street.
Yeah, no. So I got invited to go do some training.
It's only people that can beat up cops these days are immigrants in New York. If you beat up cops in New York, you're fine. Outside of that, you might go to prison.
Dude, no, for sure. But it was like so I went to go do some, what I was told was sparring, but I filled in for Max, like a fight, and I didn't know that. I showed up with my dad and my sister, and they ended up miding me out and cornering me. And my dad had to sign a waiver because I was still 17 at the time. So my dad signed the waiver, and then me and the cop got to fight that night, and I knocked him out. And then I was just like, well, this shit's fun. That pretty much settles it. I'm going to go ahead and drop out of college.
It's not a bad way to start, is it? Knocking out a cop. Nothing against
No,
cops. Cops do a great service, by the way. That sounded weird. But the knockout, you know what I mean? Because that's and submissions, of course. Finishing another man. That must have been such a rush as a young man. You're like, of course I want to do this.
Dude. Yeah, and I just got a ticket that week, so it worked out perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it was destiny.
You took out all your frustrations on that guy.
For sure. For sure.
Brilliant. So let's talk about this fight, Roman Kopylov. I mean, I'm looking at your record now. Roman Kopylov, that's a big win because he was soaring. He was looking like a really hot prospect. He is a hot prospect.
Oh, yeah.
Edmund Shabazian, same thing. Marc-Andre Barrios, he's having a good career. Josh Friend, and before that, Rodolfo Vieira, a man that's so highly regarded in the jiu-jitsu world. Saturday night, Roman Kopylov, he's known for his striking. He's also a Russian that's an international master of sport. So they can wrestle. Talk us through the fight from your perspective.
Yeah, I just found out he was like a 5-time Sambo champion yesterday. I was like, oh shit, that's dope. But no, yeah, the dude he was really quick. I knew he was gonna run away and skate to the power side. Like he shows that every fight. He's really good when he went forward. As you've seen, he kicked the shit out of me and hit me. But the goal was just to get him backwards. I do my best work when I'm in people's faces and I'm walking you down. Because like I said, I trust my defense and I know what like shots I have available to me now. So the goal was to stay in his face, hit him a lot, and then hopefully that would open the wrestling. I knew he had a shitty gas tank just because every time he throws shots, if you watch his diaphragm, he takes a deep ass breath in circles. So it was just a matter of making him have to fight his ass off and make him that nervous energy jump and just staying in his face and slowly chipping at him. I knew he had only one way to beat me. It was kickboxing. So as long as my defense and all my shit was there in the right place, I was going to be fine. And it was just keeping that elbow in front so he can kick my elbow instead of my liver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Little adjustments.
So it sounds like you did a lot of homework on this guy.
Dude, I'm telling you, my coaches, they do a lot of the homework. I honestly don't have to do no thinking. They do me, like, I trust them with my life. I've been training with these guys and for a very long time now. I know they're like jealous schoolgirls, you know what I mean? Like, they'll look in there and figure out every tendency these guys have, and then they'll let me know, and I'll watch a couple times, see how they come out. If they come out crazy, then it's like, all right, we got to fight off the gates, you know what I mean? Or we kind of like get a just slow approach. But dude, my team is so good at doing their homework and shit, which is like, I just have the right people around me and I'm a hard worker. So it usually works out, you know what I mean? And I'm not the dumbest person. I understand the shit. Sometimes I get hit, I get pissed off. I'm like, you bitch, come on. And that's like I just want to go but kickboxing days on the, you know what I mean? But I got to be smart and stay very well-rounded and keep you guys guessing.
Well, you certainly do seem smart. You seem to have a really good, solid grasp of the fight game. And, you know, you're going to be a good thinker in there. So you're going to be a smart man. You know, I know you're talking that at school and stuff, your grades and whatnot weren't the best, but you know what I mean? You're clearly a smart individual. Talk to me about that finish, because you were trying to get that rear naked choke. He was defending you on the chin. You were trying to get a neck crank. Then you got it sunk in and you're staring down Mario Lopez, just giving him the biggest old cheesy grin.
Dude, no, yeah, it was dope because he's hella cool. I've been talking to him now, like here and there every once in a while, and he's just like, he's super into boxing, he's super into jiu-jitsu. He just seems like a solid ass person, you know what I mean? And to see him going hella crazy for me, like when I had that shit and I knew it was under his chin, I was like, oh, got him. So you know, like I don't talk shit when I fight, or like leading up to fights. It's all respect in here in the game, but like when we're face to face and we're fighting, I'm gonna for sure talk shit because it's the game of war, you know what I mean? If I can mentally like with you and piss you off and get you off track, then it's just gonna bind in my favor. So I feel like, at least. And I got a hard head. So.
did you get a chance to speak to him after?
I tried throughout the week and shit, but he didn't speak no English. So like every time I'd say something to him, I'm like, oh yeah. Just, you know what I mean? Like but I think
so you're a fake Mexican.
Dude, I'm definitely super. Yeah, no, definitely. My Spanish sucks dick too, because they're like, can you do Spanish interviews? I'm like, dude, everyone around me is white. Like my dad's from Mexico, but he talked English to me my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, we came here for the American dream.
Exactly. And it seems like it's going well for you. This weekend, Mexico City, big fight card down there. Was there any talk of you being on that as opposed to the pay-per-view?
Hopefully not, because that's hella altitude, right?
Oh, yeah. 7,300 feet, something like that.
Then hopefully they don't call.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Because that changes everything. I would have to go down there for like a month and shit, and like I don't think realistically. I just want to do like Vegas is cool because it's close. If I can fight close and like, dude, I got to look into the taxes and all that shit too nowadays, which is crazy to me. Because when I fought in China, like, dude, it was I had to give up half my check, and I made more in Brazil when I lost than I won in China. When I won in China, so I was like, what the. So I definitely got to look into all that shit too. But I would love to fight in Vegas. If they came to Sacramento, I could sell that bitch out because I'm from out here. You know what I mean? That would be so sick. But I've heard people saying they want to see me fight in the Sphere in Vegas with Mexico Independence Day. I'm down for that. You know what I mean? I want to get back to work. I want to see what they throw at me. I want a test that's going to prove like I'm ready for my title run. You know what I mean? I don't know who that is or who I got to fight for that, but I'm ready. I'm healthy. So definitely. Yeah, I told Mick already too. I seen him in the elevator and I was like, hey, just keep me in mind. You know what I mean?
So we got to ask who's the name, right? I'm looking at the rankings here. You are ranked currently 13. That might go up a notch or two. Above you, it's Paul Craig, Roman Dolidze, Jack Hermanson, Nasruddin Imavov. I think it'd be one of those guys next, right?
I would think so. Last time they offered me the French guy, yeah. So I said yes in Paris, and then he said no. So I don't know. I don't think he's afraid of me or anything. Probably bad timing or whatever. So Jack Hermanson just had a great win. He's a veteran. I would love to fight him just off like the style. You know what I mean? He's 6'4", or he's a tall, lanky guy. But I think honestly, in the kickboxing, I could do very well against him.
Who did he just beat? Hermanson just had a good win. Who was? Oh, Joe Pyfer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that is a stud too. You know what I mean? I want to fight someone who's winning and like who's on his way too. I want to beat someone that's anyone. I mean, I'll fight someone even like ahead of. I fought Allen. I beat him in LFA. He's gotten way better. Obviously, he's doing fantastic things. He's been healthy. He's been healthy, so he's able to fight. You know what I mean? Like if I could fight someone ahead of him to prove it, I would love that. Or because I know he's got to fight sometime soon, right?
Brendan Allen is currently number 6, and you mentioned it there. That was your last win, right, before you signed with the UFC?
Yeah. And I know he says he had a bad camp for that fight camp. So did I. I honestly didn't train for that fight. I was hurt, so I just jogged, and it was like my manager's like, bro, this is the opportunity, you need to take it. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna try to jog and get in the best shape I can and fight him. You know what I mean? I went out there and I won it. But definitely, I mean, I would love to fight him and us be both at our best. You know what I mean? Or someone ahead of him. I really don't give a. I think I'm ready to prove to anyone that I'm ready for the belt. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm very well rounded. I understand the game very well. I understand my game very well, and I understand like how like the other attacks and stuff. I'm just ready for whenever making them want to see me, who they want to test me against. I'll be ready. Just give me some time. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that you're going to get a big opponent next, because even though you're not big on the social media and stuff like that, generally you open the pay-per-view. That's a really, really good spotlight. I'm telling you. So a lot of people today know exactly who you are, and they're impressed with the performance and everything that you showed. Harrington is our producer on here. So he sent me a couple of little notes, even though I've got notes on you for days from when I've commentated you. One of the things that he put in here, he has chickens living at his house.
Dude, yeah, I got some little minis inside. They're badass. Things like a dog, dude. I wake up in the morning, he's like running back and forth across his cage. I'll let him out, and he'll like want to go outside, and I'll take him for walks outside. I'll tell him to come inside, and he'll come in the house and put himself away. He's
how many chickens? Just the one?
I got 4 inside right now. My wife's not very happy about it, but
hold on. Inside?
Yeah, they're in like a small little square cage. They're
all right, okay. So they're not running free, because I was going to do they not shit everywhere?
No, all that. Yeah, no, definitely. They do shit. I'm like, I got to have a napkin on hand when they walk around, because they're definitely going to shit. You know what I mean? And my wife will freak the out.
My wife wants to get chickens. She wants to get the eggs and stuff. So are you raising eggs and stuff?
I mean, they're like, I'm trying to breed them eventually and just like sell them and shit. But when I used to live on the ranch, I had chickens for eggs, and like I used to kill our own shit, kill our pigs, kill like stuff like that.
Oh,
Just organic's the best way to go. You know what I mean? I hate the city. I'm living in it now because I need to get my kids into a house and shit. But I plan on going back to the country and like having my animals again and just doing the natural garden, and like that's just peaceful to me, and it keeps me off social media and not thinking about the negative bullshit. You know what I mean? And that's like
I
all I
do.
really need right now.
I know exactly what you say. It sounds like you got it all figured out, man, because I still live in California. I'm in Orange County, and that's what we want to do. I've spoke about it a couple of times on the show. My wife is obsessed with moving out to the country and doing all the same stuff that you're doing there, growing her own produce, having animals, and all the rest of it. So you're doing the right thing, man. You are doing the right thing. Four girls, is it?
Dude, no, I got 2 boys and 2 girls. 2 boys,
Okay.
2 girls. Super lucky with that. The boys, I'm like, cool, easy. You know what I mean? But the little girls, I'm like,
Do the boys
why?
want to fight?
Nah, my son's a puss. My daughter wants to fight.
My son's a pussy.
Bro, I tell them that shit all the time. Like, dude, you guys gotta start doing yard work or some shit. Like, we need to toughen you up, dude. You guys are pussies. Both my boys are my girls are tougher than my boys. Like, my son has his moments, he'll nut up, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
with training and shit, no, he's not about it. He can fight. I'll give him that. Little shit.
How old is he?
He's 6. Or no, I'm tripping. He's 7, gonna be 8.
Yeah, he's a baby, man. He's a baby. Because I've got a 30. He's almost 14. And same thing. He was not interested whatsoever. And then he walked into an MMA gym one day because there's this young lad that I'm kind of like mentoring in the fight world. So I went into the gym to check on him. And Lucas came with me, and he walked in and he saw it all and he wanted to train. And now he absolutely loves it. He's tapping people out. He's kicking me in the fucking head. So you never know. He did. We were standing outside a restaurant, and I was with my buddy. We were waiting for our table, and I said, "Here, show him your kick, right?" And you probably know this eye doesn't work, so he kicks my hands. He kicks my hands, and then I stopped, but he threw a third, and he went kicked me right in the face, and it was a good one. I'm like, "Look, you little shit!" He's like, "Oh, sorry, Dad, I didn't know." So he got a good one in. Yeah. So 4 kids. You've got your hands full, man.
No, yeah, with kids sports and shit, like, bro, I don't have a life no more. Like, that's all right. You know what I mean? Partying with shit. I did all that when I was like 15. I'm cool off partying and shit. Now it's just live for the kids. But my daughter does gymnastics, my oldest, and she's in the gym like probably 6 times a week, 4 hours of session, and like she's putting in work. She said she wants to be an Olympian, so I'm like, well, you stay in the gym then. You know what I mean?
Yep, of course.
And then my other one, the one below that, he wants to do soccer. So same with him. I'm like, bro, you better get out the goddamn games and start running and stay in shape. And you know what I mean? And then my other one, my son, the younger one, the middle one, he's doing gymnastics. He's down to fight. I've seen him get into fights with kids and shit. You got to piss him off. But once he gets mad, he can box a little bit and throw head kicks and shit. He understands grappling well too. And then he's
got those Hernandez genes, man. Come on, he's got it. It's in there. It's in the bloodline.
But my youngest wants to be a fighter, and she's 6. She just pinned her first boy the other day.
Nice.
She's been doing good though. She's like been able to get up from everyone in wrestling. I had to tell her she can't choke kids though and shit. And she's like, what? That's not fighting. I'm like, baby, you're just doing one part of wrestling right now. Let's get good at wrestling, and then we'll work on striking and shit. But her main goal is to beat up her brother that's a year older than her, like 2 years older than her. So
did the kids get into it? Because like in my house growing up, I was always getting the shit kicked out of me by my older brothers, and then my sisters and my younger brother, they were always scrapping. What about those guys?
They every once in a while, their mom used to they're terrified of their mom because she used to dabble in fighting a little bit too.
Man, the house full.
Dude, no, yeah. So if they bullshit and stuff, then we'll be like, all right, if you guys got to settle this shit, we'll make them put the gloves on and fight. We've had them do that before to settle their differences, and it worked. You know what I mean? They quit arguing and quit bickering and shit.
Yeah.
You got to find that line, you know what I mean?
No, I completely agree, and that's good. I mean, because this new generation's growing up soft, and it's like if they're falling out, settle it like that, and then they'll resolve their differences properly. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, No, I think that's the best way to figure out who you are. You know what I mean? Is by
Mm.
fighting somebody. You learn a lot about yourself. You're either a bitch and you don't fight, or you use your words.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Basically.
definitely do fight, brother. I'll tell you that, and I'm looking forward to your future because you got a very bright one. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much, man.
Drinkers, I know you don't watch the fights a lot, so I won't ask you your pick for this weekend at Mexico City. But Drinkers Duplessis, he fought Sean Strickland.
Yep.
How did you watch that fight?
I did watch that fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like
What
he
did you
got picked
think?
apart with a jab. It shows you that like Strickland has done a great job of what he does with the most basic combinations ever. You know what I mean? And it like really just shows you that good basics and fundamentals will fucking get you there. You should be able to beat anyone with a jab, ideally,
Yeah.
but like Strickland shows that shit every fight. I would love to fight him one day. You know what I mean? I met him at the Apex or the Apex once, and was like, well, if I see you in there, I see you in there. Like, I honestly think I'd get along with the guy. He seems funny as shit. You know what I mean? Like, but no, yeah, I've seen that fight. Duplessis mixed it up well. I think he's wrestled and like he just looked like a big, strong. You know what I mean? But I think the same. Most of these 85ers gas out, and I think that's where my advantage is making these work their ass off, and then exploiting it and taking advantage of it.
So I want to ask you about that because I weaponized my cardio, right? Because as I said, I wasn't necessarily the best at anything, but I was a good all rounder. You know what I mean? But I would work my ass off because, money was extremely tight growing up and I wanted a good life. And this was my only path to do it. So I worked and I worked and I ran. And whatever I was doing, I was pushing myself to the absolute limit. And people used to say to me, oh, what's your secret? How do you get your cardio so good? It's like, there ain't no secret. It's just hard work. Is that kind of just the same attitude? Because for me, I knew if I was fighting someone, as soon as they start getting tired, then they start making mistakes, and then that's where I'm going to take over. It might be hard at the beginning, the first minute, the second minute, the third minute, but can you keep up this pace, bitch? Can you keep going at this pace? Because I fucking can.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite thing is when I see that. I'm like, I got you, bitch. I got you, bitch. Yep. No, I definitely there. I love that shit. You know what I mean? But I've worked so hard every day that there's no reason I should gas out when I'm going balls to the wall for 45 minutes a roll. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes 30 minutes for me to get caught, but it's like, okay, that's still longer than a fight, first of all. Yeah, no, I go hard as like you said, there's no secret. Every session I do, I push my ass off. And like, as you know, as you get older, it's like you got to train less and use your brain more. You know what I mean? Your body can't push like crazy like how it used to. And I had to find that out the hard way, just being hella exhausted and be like, what the I'm not young no more. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Two sessions a day, one session a day, one hard one, and then let's do a brain one the next session or whatever it is. But my coaches are fantastic and they have a good schedule for me, and I trust them fully and don't worry about the rest. You know what I mean? The rest.
All right, final question. I wasn't going to ask you about this, and I was going to say goodbye now, but then just as you turn to the side, just look to your left. Yeah. The ears. We got to talk about these ears, man, because you cover them up, right? What do you call it? No, not the cauliflower ears.
The gauges. The gauges.
The gauge. We got to talk about this because you cover them up when you're fighting, because when you take those out, I mean, that seems like a nightmare for a finger to get caught in there.
The one over here just ripped. That's why the gauge isn't in. The back ripped during fight week. That shit sucked. It was painful, but what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? My dumb ass should have done it in the first place.
What's the score with the gauges?
I don't know. I just was bored one day. I did them and then it hurt like a bitch. And then me and my cousin started doing it to see who was tougher. You know what I mean? Like who could take more pain type shit. Yeah. And I just never untook them out because that shit hurt so bad to do. I'm like, I'm leaving them. You know what I mean? Like, we were just dumbasses growing up, proving who was tougher, and that's kind of how I got those things.
And I'm genuinely curious. So if you took those out, and if you decide, and by the way, there's no judgment, but if you decided I'm done with the gauges, what would happen? Will you forever have like a hole, or will it kind of slow? Will it kind of like
this? It's kind of closing up. You know what I mean?
That's closing up.
I think it close enough. You know, probably go back to normal. Probably for sure go back to normal. I didn't go crazy big for that reason, because I think once you go like crazy stupid big, like there's no point, and someone's fist to go through that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do all that. No.
No.
This is like perfect. Just enough where I can put a little logo or some bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm good.
Oh,
with
nice,
that.
nice. See, you're thinking all the time. Advertisement. Fluffy, congratulations again, man. All the best with everything. Can't wait for your next fight. Thank you for your time today, and I'll see you soon, man.
No, thank you, and I'll see you soon, brother. You have a good one.
Big fan. Take care. There he is. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez.